guys, I'm gonna try to hold these up. It's me, Emilyana, and I'm doing a Bridgerton by Julia Quinn reading, and this is like my favorite book series. Well, one of them. Probably one that I've like recently read, but I haven't really read enough book series like last year. I read The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I think that's it. Those were the two series I read. But this book series is my favorite. I already tried filming this once, but honestly, filming book videos is very like anxious to me. So I really want to try doing it more. But I'm still getting used to like what I should say and what I shouldn't. So that's kind of the hard thing for me, but I can't not do a video talking about these books. I just want to film it again when I kind of look better, because I didn't look as good yesterday, and that I kind of like know what I want to say now. So I'm gonna go from like my least favorite to my favorite out of the 8 main books. There's a lot of prequels, and then there's like other book series that connect to this series. But I'm gonna do these 8 because these are the ones I've read, and this is like the main like Bridgerton series. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, well, like the 8th one, but first one we're starting off with is To Sir Philip with Love. I like the concept of this book. It's kind of basically love letters, and that's kind of how it kicks off. And so I like that part of it, but I didn't like Sir Philip really, and I feel like some people might feel the same. I kind of like, if you watch the show, like how they're going with like Eloise like crush right now. So I think just from watching the show and then reading the book, that was kind of disappointing, and I had like mixed feelings like starting this, because I did hear like mixed feelings. People either love this or they hate this. So I don't know, I just didn't really like Sir Philip for Eloise. Eloise is like really great, and they did like really good like picking an actor for Eloise. But I don't know, I just really didn't like Sir Philip. Okay, I just fixed the camera because I noticed it was crooked. Next one, this is an amazing book if you did not watch the show. It's basically the same thing. So I think the reason why this is so low is just because I watched season 1. I should have skipped over, but I wanted to say I read all of them. So that's why I still like loved it. And this is a really good book if you go in without watching the show. If you watch the show, it's kind of written for you. I think a lot of people might agree if they watch the show first. But the book is amazing, other than it being the same as the show, and I watched the show before starting the series. Next one is Colin and Penn. This book, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. This book was really good, and I love certain scenes for it. I just thought it could have been better. Colin's my favorite Bridgerton. Just this book didn't like get to like my expectations of it, I guess. I think I had a little too much expectations for this book, but it was really good. I love this whole series like to death. Even like reading these is kind of hard because they're all so good. Just some of them just didn't get to where like I wanted it to be than some of the other books. Next one is Anthony's book, The Viscount Who Loved Me. This one was really good because I was reading this in between watching the show, and a lot of it I actually read after the show. So this one's completely different from the show, and I think that's the reason why I kind of really like this one. This one was really good. Like, Kate and her sister, what's her sister's name? I can't think of her sister's name right now, but they're really good in the book. Her, like, sister's really different from the book to the show, though. But that's one thing I did notice. And there's just, like, a lot of, like, little things that are different. And so this book kind of surprised me. And it might surprise you if you, like, go from the show to the book. Because, honestly, it surprised me. The book surprised me after, like, watching the series and reading this book. It was just, like, a turnaround. And some of the epilogues are insane in that book. For each of these books, there's an epilogue and then a second epilogue. Some of the second epilogues were hard to read because I was, like, just done with the book at that point. But some of them are really good. Next one is Highsmith's book, It's in His Kiss. I love the pairing for this book. So her like love interest in the book is Garth. And he is a relative of someone in the Bridgerton show, if you've, like, watched the show. And I think it's just a perfect match. They're both, like, so, like, witty and funny. Like, amazing. Like, this pairing was really good. And this was, like, honestly, like, the next 4 books, including this one, were all really good and hard to choose, like, which one's my actual favorite. But this one was really good. It's one of my, like, most recent ones I read. But I really like the pair for this book. Probably one of the best pairs, I would say. Maybe not. I like some of the other ones too, though. But I just really like their story, and it's like you wouldn't imagine her with someone else after reading the book, because it's just, you'll get it if you read it, because the person who he's related to just fits with Highsmith, and it just works. You'll get it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, sadly, you don't. Next one is On the Way to the Wedding, which is Gregory's story. I just checked. I'm like, is this supposed to be higher? No. There's just too many good books. These 3 were hard to choose from. Let's just say that. Also, you probably saw all my annotations. Gregory's story was really good. I feel like this was the most surprising one, and it's the one you have paid the most attention to because it kind of confused you. It starts out with a scene that doesn't come till, like, middle, closer to the end of the book, and then so you read that, and then it goes straight into the story, and then you kind of get confused. Well, I did, at least. So this was a bit of a confusing book. There's like 2 different girls in the book, and I think that's why it was confusing. But the love in this book and kind of just, like, how it all comes together is really good. I wasn't, like, Gregory, you don't see a lot in the show as much, and when you do, he's, like, really young because it's, like, a different time. Okay, if Future Emily. Yes, I'm filming this and editing this the same day. So I kind of lost my trail of thought here. So I said, like, because of the show, you see him, like, at a different age. You really don't know his personality. So, like, in the book, I was able to, like, see his personality more. Kind of same with, like, Highsmith and Francesca. So you kind of, like, learn about these characters more and fall in love with them, because you don't see them in the show. There's only 2 seasons, and at that point, they're young. They're not really looking for love at that time. So I think that's, like, another, like, addition to, like, some of the younger Bridgerton family members, and you kind of open this door to, like, who they are. And I'm just gonna put this in because I did lose, like, my trail of thought. I was like, what was I trying to say? This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, back to the video. And next one is Francesca. I was really excited to read this even when starting it. Cause Francesca, you don't see at the show, like, rarely. I don't think even once that, like, I know of. Cause she's basically the opposite of all the other Bridgerton series. She's more quiet, more independent, not wanting, like, be around her family as much. So I just kind of like her confidence. And the way this one is, the guy kind of falls first and had, like, a love for her for a long time before they actually got together. And I think that was some of the cute parts of this. Same with Gregory. I feel like Gregory fell first too, and that's another reason why I liked his book. Cause I don't think I read as many books where the guy falls first, but it, like, these ones, there were a few, and I just kind of like that, like, little love story, and how it goes about. And, like, the passion in these books are, like, really good. Like, wow. Like, Julia Quinn does a, like, fantastic job of, like, making each character their own character. And then, like, choosing who, like, their love interest is. And it's just so creative. And there's, like, so many characters that pop in other books. Gregory's story, a lot of Anthony and Kate were in that book, which was also nice. But this one was really good. And this one was, like, almost my favorite. But the next one is definitely my favorite. But, like, these two and the next one are, like, all, like, right there, because they're all so good. A lot of these I gave a 5 out of 5. The first 2 I think I did a 3-star. And honestly, I think Eloise might be lower. Eloise might be, like, 2.5. It wasn't for me. Eloise's story just wasn't for me, but, like, all the other ones are so good. Because, like, the Duke and I, that was because I watched the show. If I didn't watch the show, that probably would be one of my, like, top ones. Okay, number 1 is Benedict's book, An Offer from a Gentleman. I'm like, what's the book's name? Talking about these are so hard. I want to do it more often, though. It's just hard for me, because a lot of these I just, like, love so much. I have, like, a Bridgerton, I have a book cart now, and I have a Bridgerton row. I want to get a candle teacup to go with these, because I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed with the show, but, like, the books are so, so good. So this one is a twisted, very twisted Cinderella story. And I love Sophie, which is Benedict's love interest, And I feel like we don't really see Benedict too much in the show. And when you do, it's not like the book. He's a very like artistic person, which I think is another reason I really like the book, because they kind of show that more. And then Sophie is just one of like the good partners. Like, I really fell in love with Sophie, and I feel like that a lot of people who read this book did the same. But this is so good for it being like a story we all know. We all know like the Cinderella story, and the way it's just like twisted and how it all comes together is so good. And I still like think about this book so much. It's one of my favorites out of this series. It is my favorite out of this series. But like, I don't know, this one's so good. I can't even like express my love for this book because it's really good. For any of these books, they're all so good. I would try them if you're in for like a long series, because this series is 8 books and that doesn't include the prequels. So it's a long, it took me the whole year, but I read books in between because I didn't want to go Bridgerton. But so I would recommend doing it like sporadically, because it's not a series you have to go one right after the other, because it's a different love story each time. So I just love it. Like, this series, I'm planning on reading the prequels not anytime soon. I'm looking at my books right now. I have books I want to read on there, but it's so good. I feel like when I read the prequels after, like, I haven't read Bridgerton in a while, I'll be like, I miss these books so much. They're so good. Please try them out. Please. Just give it a go. If you like, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, like, comment. Socials are down below. What else? Follow for more videos, or subscribe for more videos. There's a lot coming. I don't know when this is going up, maybe Friday. I'm planning on filming me going to Daniel's TV, which I can't believe is tomorrow. I'm filming this before I go see Daniel. I do have meet and greet, so my old Why Don't We picture is kind of getting a second go, I guess. But oh my gosh, so I'm gonna have that video, I'm gonna have this video. I have something excited planned for February. I keep thinking about it. Once I get to school, I'm starting to film for it, because I think it's going to be something that might help a lot of people. But please like, subscribe, watch the next video, watch my last video. I don't know, I'm horrible at outros. I still need like a constant outro, because that never happens. But peace. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!